Hey MBHS learners, welcome to Science 10 video lesson series. First quarter is all about plate tectonics. And I am your teacher, Sir Gueta, your grade 10 science teacher. Before we start, let us first read a Bible reflection. According to this one, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Genesis 1:1. So God is very powerful and loving. He created earth for us to live, so let us thank Him always. The objective of this video lesson is for us to describe and to relate the distribution of active volcanoes, earthquake epicenters, and major mountain belts to plate tectonic theory. But before we go to our lesson, let us first have our pre-assessment. Are you ready? Plate tectonic means A. Stationary small land masses. B. Stationary huge land masses. C. Moving small land masses. Or D. Moving huge land masses. The answer is letter D. Moving huge land masses. Let's have the second question. The following are the Earth's interior layer except for A. Core, B. Mantle, C. Crust, D. Atmosphere. The answer is atmosphere. Number 3 question. The following describes an oceanic plate except letter A. Denser, letter B. Older, letter C. Younger, letter D. Thinner. The answer is letter C. Younger. Question number 4. The plate tectonic map can give us the following except letter A. Mountain ranges, letter B. Type of movement, letter C. Record of active volcano, and D. The effects of earthquakes. The answer is letter D. The effects of earthquake. And last, question number 5. The following are major plate tectonics except for letter A. Nazca Plate, letter B. Eurasian Plate, letter C. Australian Plate, and letter D. South American Plate. The answer is Nazca Plate. Okay, don't you worry if you do not get a higher score because that is just a pre-assessment. Let us now proceed to our lesson. What is plate tectonics? It actually came from plate and tectonic, from the two words plate and tectonic, which means huge land masses, and tectonic means movement. So plate tectonics is the movement of huge land masses. The Earth is made up of layers: the inner core, the outer core, the mantle, and the crust. The crust is the outermost layer of the Earth. It is made up of different types of rocks, such as igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks, and metamorphic rocks. The crust is thickest in a part where relatively young mountains are present, and thinnest along the ocean floor. The two types of crust are the oceanic crust, which is relatively thinner but denser, while The continental crust is thicker but less dense. There are 7 major tectonic plates. We have the North American plate. We also have the Eurasian plate, the South American plate, the Indian plate, the Pacific plate, the Australian plate, and the Antarctic plate. These plates moves very slowly but constantly, about an inch to 2 inches or 3 to 5 centimeters per year. The tectonic plate map shows some very important information about the movement of these huge land masses. The black line represents the tectonic plates boundary among these huge land masses. Each of them moves at certain direction. For example, the Eurasian plate and the Pacific plate move towards one another. The two plates collide with each other. It is called convergent plate boundary. While the Pacific plate and the North American plate slides or pass or grinds against one another. This kind of interaction is called transform plate. While the Pacific plate and the Antarctic plate moves away from each other. This is known as a divergent plate boundary. The plate tectonic map can also show us the earthquake and volcanic eruption record. It also shows us the position of active volcanoes. Let us determine its relation with the plate tectonic boundaries. The orange dot represents the record of the earthquake, while the black triangle represents the position of active volcanoes and volcanic eruption. Let us notice the position of earthquake occurrences occur mostly at plate tectonic boundaries, and most active volcanoes are positioned along the boundaries of Pacific plate. This is called the Pacific Ring of Fire. The position of mountain and mountain ranges can also be related to plate boundary. The mountain ranges along South American plate is caused by the interaction among the South American plate and Nazca plate, while the Himalayan mountain ranges is caused by the collision between the Indian plate and the Eurasian plate, and the Luzon Sierra Madre mountain ranges is caused by the interaction between the Philippine plate and the Pacific plate. The North American mountain ranges is caused by converging Pacific plate and North American plate. In conclusion, the places on Earth where most of the earthquake occurrences, position of active volcano and volcanic eruption, and the formation of huge mountain ranges were formed due to interaction of plates among their boundaries. Let us see if you learned something today. Let's have our post-assessment. Number 1. Name the following plate tectonics. Yes, this is Pacific plate. Number 2. It is the Eurasian plate. Number 3. It is the South American plate. Number 4. The plate tectonic map can give us the following except for mountain ranges, type of movement, record of active volcano, the effects of earthquake. The answer is the effects of earthquake. And lastly, number 5. The following are major plate tectonics except for A. Nazca plate, B. Eurasian plate, C. Australian plate, and D. South American plate. The answer is Nazca plate. I would like to thank the following website for the creative diagram and photos that I have borrowed. Did you get them correctly? Well, try again if not. And for those who got it perfect, very good. Thank you very much. I hope you learned from this video lesson. See you again on the next video lesson. God bless.